Now we are going to take all the different colors, and I'm sure it's very appetizing. So you see, you leave it in the pan there to saute for a little bit. You can even put the lid back on. The lentil overnight. Welcome to Uzima Lifestyle Center, Eat for Optimal Health. I am your host, Janice McLean, and I'm so delighted that you have joined us for our 9th episode. Today, we will be making power-packed quinoa salad. Yes, power-packed quinoa salad. And for this, we need the following ingredients. We need quinoa. Now you can get just the regular quinoa, but this is the multicolored quinoa. And in a little while, I'll tell you the benefits of the quinoa. So this is the quinoa. Then we need black beans. We also need vegetable broth, tomatoes, and because I like a lot of vegetables, I'm going to add some cucumbers. The recipe doesn't call for cucumbers, but I'm going to add some cucumbers. And this is the type of cucumber we're going to use. That's the baby cucumbers, right? And then we have some sweet peppers, yellow sweet peppers. Here we have our onion, as well as green onions and onions. And then here we have our sweet corn. To make the dressing for this recipe, there are a couple of things that we will need, and I'll talk a little more about that. Remember, as usual, on the video, you will have all the measurements. For example, 1 cup, or if you have a large family, you'll be making a little more. So 1 cup of quinoa. Large family, you'll be making a little more. So 1 cup of quinoa, and then you will have 2 cups of vegetable broth. You can actually use water also. Then you have your black beans. You can have 1 can of black beans. And in addition to that, you have your sweet corn. I just indicated 1 can of sweet corn. Then you have your diced tomatoes and cucumbers, sweet pepper, onions, etc. So those are all the main ingredients for the quinoa salad. Now, to prepare this quinoa salad, it is very important that you boil the quinoa, wash the quinoa, take the quinoa, wash it in a sieve, and then you put the vegetable broth in a saucepan, bring it to the boil, and then you cook the quinoa for 20 minutes. In the interest of time, I've already cooked the quinoa for us. So the quinoa is ready. Now, I want to spend a little moment talking to you about some of the benefits of these various things that we are going to put into our recipe. First of all, we want to talk about the benefits of quinoa. Now, quinoa is an incredible food, and it has a lot of great benefits. And I'm going to list some of them for you. Remember, you can get the white quinoa or you can get the multicolored quinoa. Because I like a lot of colors, I wanted to get the multicolored quinoa. This is what it looks like. The quinoa aids with weight loss. So those individuals who are interested in losing weight, quinoa is your go-to food. It is filled with antioxidants. Very, very important. So it keeps your body healthy. Did you know that quinoa is also an antiseptic? It is also very good for your bone health. It is good for your brain health. And the very important thing that we need to note is quinoa is also good for colon health. It is also very important because it boosts our energy, and good news, it is gluten-free. For individuals who have gluten intolerance, this is a very good food. It helps with migraines. It lowers your blood pressure. It helps because it has a lot of fiber. Because it has a lot of fiber, it is a good laxative. It also is packed with protein. That is why we call it power-packed quinoa salad. It is packed with protein. It is also very, very important, good to build your bones. It is good. It also helps to prevent arteriosclerosis. It is also filled with lots of antioxidants and amino acid. I did mention the antioxidant a little earlier, but I wanted to repeat that because very often people who are on a plant-based diet have to think about their antioxidants and so forth. Now, it's also good for your skin health. It helps to reduce stress. It is good for your teeth. And also, it is good for hemorrhoids. I can spend... We know that quinoa improves our overall health. It is also very protective of your body against cancer. It improves your bone. I mentioned that earlier. It is also good for anemia. So if you have anemia, it is very good for that. And good news for people who are diabetic, this is a very good food because it's rich in fiber. It improves your digestive health, and it's also good for your circulatory system. As a matter of fact, it's good for your cardiovascular system. And as I mentioned earlier, it helps with your blood pressure as well. Now let's talk about the benefits of corn, because corn is included in this. Corn is a rich source of vitamins and minerals. It's a good source of antioxidant. It boosts your immune system. And did you know that corn is very good for your eyesight? And also it is a very good laxative. So incorporate corn into your diet as often as you can, and that will be very meaningful. Now let's spend a little moment talking about black beans. We have introduced black beans before because our first recipe, our very first episode, we made our black bean cook-up rice. But today I want to remind you of some of the benefits of black beans. Black beans is very protective of your heart. It protects your heart against heart disease. It assists with your nervous system. It also regulates your blood sugar. So this is a very good, friendly food for people who are diabetics. Also, very, very important, it detoxifies sulfates out of your body. It helps to fight cancer. It lowers your cholesterol. Many times we are concerned about our cholesterol. So this is a food that would help, very, very important, with lowering your cholesterol. It is anti-inflammatory, and we know when inflammation builds up in our body, it causes pains and it leads to all kinds of different diseases. So this is a food that would help you to control the inflammation. It aids in your digestion because it's full of fiber, and as I said earlier, it's an antioxidant. So here you have it, the quinoa, the black beans, and the corn, three very important ingredients that we are going to use. Now, for our methods. How are we going to make this quinoa salad? And this is a really, really easy recipe. First of all, you cook your quinoa. Remember I said you need to cook your quinoa for about 20 minutes, and you use vegetable broth. If you are not able to use vegetable broth, you can cook it in water and just add a little bit of spices and so forth so it gets a nice flavor. So our quinoa is already cooked. So I'm going to place it in our mixing bowl. Now you need to make sure you cook the quinoa so it's nice and tender. Not soft, but it's tender enough. So this is our quinoa in our bowl. It has already been cooked in the vegetable broth, okay? Now remember I said if you do not have vegetable broth, you can cook it in water and add some spices, like you can add a little bit of sea salt, you can add a little bit of turmeric and other things like that to spice it up. But we didn't need to do that today because we have our vegetable broth. So let me just move this out of the way. So we have our quinoa here. Right, I want you to see the texture of the quinoa. You don't want to cook it too soft. You want it to be nice and loose so that when you make your salad, it will be really great. Now, the quinoa is ready. Now, the next very important thing that we need to remember, that in putting our quinoa salad together, so we have the quinoa here, then you're going to add your other ingredients, right? So we are going to add our black beans. And as you add the various ingredients, you just keep mixing. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So that's the quinoa and the black beans. All right. To this, we are going to add, it doesn't matter the order in which you add them, just make sure you're adding everything. So we're going to add our tomatoes. And you know, tomatoes are very good. They're rich in lycopene and very good for overall health. And for men, the tomato is good for your prostate health. Okay, so these are some cucumbers. These are the mini cucumbers, right? So we add that. So you see our colors are coming up here. Then we are going to add, this is sweet peppers, yellow sweet peppers. And we know the benefit of sweet peppers. Also, it's very good antioxidant, etc. So you add that. Then we're going to add, this is our onions, and green onions and white onions. So we add that as well. So let me put this in the center so you can see. And then now we are going to add our corn. Now we want to make sure that everything is mixing well. See the colors, how nice and beautiful it looks. Now there's a little dressing that you make to complete your salad. For that, we need lemon juice. So we have our lemon juice pre-prepped here. Then to this we are going to add our garlic. Then we are going to add our extra virgin olive oil. Then we are going to add our cumin. Cumin is a very nice spice. It's very flavorful. So we're going to add our cumin. All the measurements are actually on the video. So, and here we're going to add, this is our Himalayan pink salt. If you would like to add chili flakes, feel free to do so, but you don't have to. I am adding some grill seasoning. You can add chili peppers to it or whatever else you choose to add, right? You can add some dry thyme to that and basil and other things like that. In addition, you can also add to this your cilantro. Yes, you can add your cilantro to this. I did not include the cilantro, but you can add the cilantro because the cilantro definitely gives it an outstanding flavor. So now you have everything in here. And let me remind you again, it's the quinoa, then you add your black beans, then you're going to add your tomatoes, your sweet peppers, and your corn. Then you're going to add, in addition to that, I added some extras because I love cucumbers, so I added some cucumbers to that. Then you're going to make sure that you add your onion, and that's very, very important, green onions as well as white onions. If you would like to use purple onions, that is also very good. So you mix this all together, and then for the dressing is lemon juice, olive oil, then we added some cumin, we added some Himalayan pink salt, and you can also add some spice chili seasoning, right? And then we stir this together. Gonna make sure this has a very good flavor. And then you mix everything in. As you can see, this is really a simple dish, but it's a complete dish. Because in the quinoa, you are going to get you get a lot of fiber, you're going to get some carbohydrates, then you have your protein there, you have your black beans, then you have your corn, you have lots of vegetables in here. So in terms of vegetables, you have the tomatoes, you have the cucumbers, You have the sweet pepper. So this is a complete meal. So you blend it all together like this. And you can refrigerate it because this is a cold dish. You can refrigerate it and then you can serve it. Now, because it's a complete dish, you don't need anything more with this. I'm just going to put it out in the plate so that you can see what it looks like when it's all finished. So let me move this off. Okay, so look, this is my bowl of quinoa salad. Nice and yummy. Then you can get ready to do your serving. You can refrigerate it, as I said before. And this is actually a very, very filling meal. Very, very filling meal. Because it has everything in it. That is why it's called protein packed. Because from the quinoa itself, you will get a lot of nutrients. So here you have it for today. Our protein packed quinoa salad. I hope you will try this dish. And leave a comment on our page to let us know how it came out. It was such a pleasure cooking with you today, and I trust that you remember that your body is God's temple, so take good care of it. It is also an antioxidant. All the different colors, and I'm sure it's very appetizing. So you see, you leave it in the pan there to saute for a little bit. You can even put the lid back on. Cook up rice. Right, so here we have it, and the bread